Yo. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Leroy. Got my guy Zach and my guy Damon here with me. We are here to discuss all things Colts with you guys. Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far, man. How you guys doing tonight?
Well, doing
I'm
well.
okay. I'm okay.
Jeez, man. Just let the energy fall. Don't be scared to
We got
wake
we got a lot
somebody
to talk
up.
about. We got a lot to talk about tonight. You know what I mean?
That
And
is very true.
I think if you do one of these numbers right here, right, thumbs up, thumbs down, we're kind of right here right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So we're
I
kind of right
actually
there
was
right
gonna
now.
get. I was actually
So
gonna get right into that. I got
yeah,
it
let's do
inside
it.
of the bio of it. So yeah, these guys want to jump right into it. As you guys can see, my name right there. I changed it from the LOL last week to back to step one. So my first question to you guys is just because I started thinking about it and all the discussion that we had going on last week and whatnot. Um, we're 4-6 right now. Obviously, Joe Flacco goes back to the bench. Anthony Richardson comes back in as the starter. This is just the first thing that I wanted to jump into just to see where you guys' minds were at on it. We're 4-6, the eighth seed currently, one game out of the playoffs. Where are you guys at on playoff hopes?
Not there at all.
Not
In
there.
fact, I think my playoff hopes left in Minnesota personally. Um, and with AR coming back, that's not my focus anymore. Because there's a lot that needs to be decided, and I think there's bigger things at hand when it comes to this roster that need to be figured out before we even go to the playoffs. Um, Obviously, AR was not where we thought he was at, at the beginning of the season. So our outlook on the season, I think, has progressively changed as the year has gone on. So playoffs are not on my mind at all.
For sure. How about you, Zach? Where you at? Where you feeling in the playoff hopes?
You already know Ballard's got to go. So I don't want playoffs. I don't want playoffs. I want to know what AR is, who AR is as a player. I need to know what this team is actually capable of. Like there are too many other questions for me to sit here and believe that we're a playoff team. I mean, I really thought it was foolish to, when Shane even brought up, hey, we're trying to hit our stride, trying to make the playoffs, and AR was playing bad, the first 6 games or the first 4 games before he got benched, like whatever you want to call that, like whatever was that tomfoolery. but I think there's too many questions. There's too many other questions on the roster. Basically, what Damon said, to sit here and really consider us being a playoff team. I think if you truly believe the Colts are a playoff team, you blindlessly follow the Indianapolis Colts and you can't watch them and see it with your eyes.
Yeah, I feel where you guys are coming from. Going to get into a little bit of these comments real quick here. Got Jacob Hillenbrand saying here, finally excited to watch the Colts again. Pretty sure he's referring to the fact that Anthony Richardson is coming back, and
Definitely excited to see that.
we're getting off of the getting out of the old people retirement home. Chad saying here, we aren't playoff contenders. And Sean Comrade is saying here, I feel a bit more excited that now that AR is playing, but I agree I'm way past done with Ballard.
Fair
Seems
enough.
that's the sentiment there. Yeah. So I just wanted to know where you guys' thoughts were at because I thought it was pretty crazy, the fact that 4-6, the A seed. I do have us beating the Jets this week, or I did have us beating the Jets with Flacco or AR. So just thought it was kind of crazy that we could end up being 5-6 and really still have a shot at the playoffs. So just kind of wanted to see where you guys were at with it. But I totally agree. Playoffs are not. I'm really over, Ballard at this point. I still stand with the same sentiments that I told you guys to start the season. I don't think he's going anywhere just because I think he's tied to Shane and he's tied to AR. So until those two are probably out the building, I think we're kind of stuck with it. So I think we at least got another year or two with it. As much as I'm ready to be done with it, just because I don't believe after 8 years of the same cycle that we've seen go on for a while now, I think that's just where we're at. I think we're stuck in the crap roller coaster with Ballard being the head man. So I echo the same sentiments as you guys, although I do think, as much as I had to say it, I think playoffs is still right in there.
We are, and there is a possibility. The AFC is horrible this year. I mean, you have multiple 6, 7, 8 loss teams in that bubble. So the Broncos, the team we're chasing, I think are a better team than
we
us.
Play them.
I think they're a better team than us personally. So it's not that it's out of the question, but I think as a Colts fan, I would enjoy the playoffs more if we didn't go.
The Colts don't deserve a playoff spot with how they played so far. Now, they could flip the switch and play like gangbusters because all it takes is for them to get hot. And Indy never makes anything easy on themselves either. So again, they could go and get hot and luck into the playoffs. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, I love playoffs. But at the same time, I would rather this year be used to see what we have in AR and really get a solid answer with him. With this, hey, we bitch you because you're not taking this serious thing. You're not taking the approach serious enough the way we want, and this wake-up call going forward, let's see, what happens. I just don't want the playoffs because, in my opinion, 98% of this roster needs to go, and it all starts with Ballard. And I don't want to see that man in Indianapolis anymore.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys' sentiment, but I can't lie, man. If we are still in this developmental train where we just come from the time where we just benched our starting quarterback, our rookie that we all wanted we all wanted a rookie quarterback to come in here and for us to stop the cycle. I can't say I would be too mad at the playoffs, man. And if we can do that in a developmental year where pretty much we've had times where it was like Anthony Richardson accuracy issues will be sometimes to where it's almost unplayable. And if we can make the playoffs with that, I honestly can't say I would be too mad because I know it would kind of suck, or there are even some comments here that we might get embarrassed or get blown out in the playoffs. But I got to tell you, I would much rather make it. And if you look the way that Houston is starting to come back down a little bit of earth with their injuries and offensive line issues, even getting a division win will kind of just make me feel a little bit better as far as what's been going on here for the last 11 years. It's just the outside look of it. It would just make me feel a lot better because I'm not going to lie. I mean, wanting Ballard gone or wanting to see the Colts succeed, I got to say I'd rather want to see the Colts succeed as much as I do want Ballard gone. Because like I said, I don't think, even if we were to make the playoffs, I don't think he deserves any more years to keep doing whatever his plan was. But I gotta say, I'd much rather see us go that extra route and kind of get there, especially with some development for AR. Got a few more comments in here. Sean is saying here we're mediocre. We'll be embarrassed if we play in the playoffs. Jonathan Jett, this looks like a new commenter. I'm not sure if I've seen this name before. Says, man, can we just let AR develop? It's going to be ups and downs. We expect too much too fast. Hashtag Colts, which I also think is crazy too. That kind of goes into it. We'll discuss that in a little bit. Got another part of that I want to get back into because I know Damon's going to love that discussion there. Then we got our guy Dave Stewart saying here, other than Detroit, we have a decent schedule. That said, we can give any game away, but if we play well, we could slip in. Bottom line, AR needs to play as this is still basically his rookie year. And we got My Team Live TV saying here, agreed. I believe he was agreeing with what I was saying about, the Colts succeeding over Ballard being gone. Been hard to be a fan, still have hope, and he's had plenty of time. Yeah, exactly. I think he's echoing the exact same sentiments that I said. And so, it just goes into that a little bit with the whole development of AR. Just kind of thought it was crazy. I think we've all had some pretty big discussions into it and just talking about how the Colts have mishandled this just because of the fact that, when I said it from the jump, I felt like the tap out and whatever they felt like he wasn't doing enough, maybe not coming in the building early enough or feeling like he wasn't sacrificing enough. I just felt like it more should have been, hey, we are benching Anthony Richardson due to conduct detrimental to the team. I think it just would have made a better look rather than saying Joe Flacco gives us the best chance to win and Joe Flacco's our starter for the rest of the season. And that's another part that hopefully you guys can kind of hold that in there is a two-parter there for both of you guys. Just the fact of how we mishandled it so bad and what we said publicly, and then to the fact that we go from his, I want to say it was Monday or Tuesday presser, saying that Joe Flacco is our starter until he's changed his mind and he will start versus the Jets, and then to come out 2 days later and say that Anthony Richardson is the starter. When I saw that, I immediately tweeted LMFAO. Like I just thought it was hilarious at like how dysfunctional that can be to her. Because I was even convinced myself that AR was going to sit until the bye week,
and his whole demeanor changed. His whole demeanor was different. He was smiling.
I mean, just crazy to me. So, where were you guys at on with the dysfunctionality of it and like it not being presented right? They should have said. I mean, if they really felt like he was benched for the season, I don't know. However, you guys felt about how it was started, and then just bringing it up to just within 2 days, changing one guy started for the Jets to back to AR now.
It's Indy. Do you expect anything less?
Exactly why I laughed.
When have we ever managed a situation correctly? You tell me that. Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
Nope.
Now this. When have we ever managed a situation correctly? We don't. And it starts from the top down. I told you this.
You see a common thread?
It starts with Irsay, and I'll be honest with you, man. I hate to go this direction, and I'm not completely off the rails on this. I promise. But it has made me kind of lose a little bit of faith in Shane a little bit. And my faith in Shane, and my faith in Shane also comes from the offensive standpoint. Is you're supposed to be an offensive football team with an offensive coach, and our defense has bailed us out of more games than our offense has. Still, and let's not act like our defense is the best in the league. So it's a combination of all that. But when it comes to mismanagement, I'm completely on par with you, right? Instead of just say that it's detrimental to the team, because it's very clear now. It's exactly what it was. It wasn't player oriented, and you could tell whenever the reporters were digging in, like, hey, your best offensive outputs have been with AR at the helm. The offense has regressed since Joe's in, and he would never answer the questions directly. Those questions will always get answered in a different standpoint, or be like, I have to look at this. Can we just talk about this? Why is every word out of his mouth process?
Because that's what he believes in, bro.
Are we the Indianapolis 76ers? Like,
he believes in there's a process.
The Indianapolis 76ers.
Process.
Dude,
quit saying it. There's no process. We're not winning games. There's no process. What are you talking about? Put the guy in, let him develop.
Yeah, see, Damon, you say the process, but where my mind went exactly to where you said it was when he said Joe Flacco gives us the best chance to win. That's when my mind.
But that's back to my sentiment that I said that it has made me lose a little bit of faith in Shane. But I think Shane's wearing the hat, and I know he says it's his decision, and it has been. I don't think that's true. I do not think that's true. That is a combination decision. That is not just his decision. So, that curtain will never be pulled back. I don't think. So we'll just have to take it status quo. But I mean, it's Indy. Like I said, I don't expect anything less than how that situation was handled.
How about you, Zach? From the start of it to then just a 2-day span jumping back to AR.
Well, from the start of it, I do believe in the chat. I compared us to the Cleveland Browns with our ability to handle situations in the media. We just fumble it all the time. So I mean, yeah, that's embarrassing. I hated how they handled it. Like I truly felt like there's a professional way of going about it, and for whatever reason, the Colts are allergic to being professional. When it comes to Steichen and his ability, and the 2 days later, I mean, while I do think he's wearing too many hats, and I've shared this with you guys, I'll share it publicly here. I think he's got way too much on his plate, both as a head coach, as a play caller, as a guy who creates the game plans. Like, a hat and wear it. If you want to be head coach, go to Ballard and say, hey, I don't want to be head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. I'll be offensive coordinator. Or you have a guy in Jim Bob Cooter. You let him call the plays. What's the point of having an offensive coordinator if he's not going to call the plays? He's essentially becomes AR's. What does he do with AR? I'm your professional tablet holder, my guy. I hold your tablet of all the mistakes you made and go over it with you. So I truly feel like Shane's, how can you give your best effort if you can't focus 110% on what your job is? Being a head coach, you have to wear many hats, but I don't believe that one of those hats involves calling plays. We saw it with Reich. We're seeing the trend now with Steichen. In clutch situations, he goes dumb. Like in clutch situations, when it was fourth and we got to have it, why isn't our best player out on the field? Why are we not putting Jonathan Taylor out there in the fourth quarter? Like, why are we throwing the ball when we were built to run it? Like
Power eye with Tyler Goodson.
Right. Like, why? What? These are questions you have to ask yourself. Are you a play caller, a coordinator, or a head coach? And personally, I believe Steichen needs to be a head coach and worry less about play calling. Let Jim Bob do that. Secondly, I can't argue with Shane's ability to break down film. Like, I mean, we all saw it. The offense looked terrible under Flacco. I mean, it was awful. 3 yards rushing, 3 yards per carry rushing? I mean, with, JT, with AR, we had at least 5 to 7 yards rushing, at quarterback. So to me, that's important. And again, I don't care if you ever throw the ball or not. I would run it. I would run it all day long, and we have the personnel to do it. And I truly believe that's how AR is going to be successful. You lean on that run game. And a lot of the struggles that you're seeing offensively, I believe, is because Shane wants to throw the ball too much, man. He wants to stretch the field vertically. He wants to do all that, get cute with it. When Indy's not that team yet, we're not there. We don't have the personnel. We're not the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't have a Patrick Mahomes and the speed on the outside and the one consistent tight end who you can just afford to get cute with. Like, Indy's not that. Indy is beat you up, pound the ball, run the ball, and pray and hope to God the defense does its job, which here recently it has, which isn't saying much because usually our defense is porous. I just think Shane's got too much going on, and I really think he made this decision to put AR back in simply because it came down to we have a first-round pick. We have to get our investment out of him, not because they wanted him to start or they wanted to send any type of message. I believe, it literally is, hey, if we're not playing him, he brings no value to us. So what you're hearing in the media, what you're hearing about this or that, that's all media coaching. I don't believe any of that stuff. None of that stuff.
Yeah, man. I share a lot of the same sentiments as you guys. I just know that it just made it look crazy to me, like I said from the jump, when they said we're going with Joe Flacco. And a lot of the people in the media and whoever thought Joe Flacco was going to be the guy, a lot of people made excuses for him in his bad games. Like they ignored all the ones he had in Cleveland. And when he had 8 touchdowns and 13 picks to finish the season with Cleveland Browns. Then he comes in and he beats Tennessee, who was one of the worst teams in the league at the time. And Will Levis is even playing with a hurt shoulder. And then we dropped 34 on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who at the time were the 32nd ranked defense or 31st ranked defense, whatever it was, in the league at the time. And everybody said, oh, yeah, he had a couple good games and thought it was that. So I was like, that's just myths. If you go back and look at the defenses that Anthony Richardson played versus the ones Joe Flacco played, it wasn't even close. And so I kind of understood it with some of the stuff, the tapping out and stuff like that. You just can't do it at the quarterback position. But they didn't sit there and say 2 weeks later, after saying Joe Flacco would start again, I just thought it was pretty crazy. Like you basically just piss on us and tell us it's rain. What are we doing here? Like it just didn't make any sense to me to do that and make the change. And then he's saying that AR has made stride in the last 2 weeks. It's like nobody makes those kind of strides or changes to whatever the process was over a 2 week span. Just thought it was kind of crazy to me. But let's jump in a little bit more of these comments here real quick here. Chat saying here, statistically, when a top draft pick gets benched like that, they looking for a new home or get traded. I think if he step up the rest of the season, if he doesn't step up the rest of the season, they draft another QB and make our really work, or he's gone. I do got to say the Carolina Panthers did just do this with Bryce Young. You aren't wrong statistically. They say once a quarterback gets benched, not very many of them work out. They all end up going to another team. But I do want to say that it's tough to believe anything they tell us, just because we know how that goes. Just like Steichen even said that AR is the starter for the rest of the season, but we will see. But at the same time, I think you kind of just gotta ride the wave with your guy. You drafted him, you got to see how it goes. And as far as he says, none of it's been play related, which I think that's fair enough to say. There's been other stuff, and like I said, some of the blame also has to go on Anthony Richardson himself to know that he can't put the team in the position to even have to question this. Sean is saying here, you can't believe anything they say. They're treating us like we're stupid. Everything comes out of their mouth is hogwash. Exactly like I said. Can't piss on us and tell us it's rain. We're not retarded. Like it just doesn't make sense there. Chad says with AR's ability to run and JT, AR needs to work on his short passes and has a stud tight end. If we started using them, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Dave saying here, it drives me crazy to think when we see sideline shows, the QBs, they are not conversing, no tablets, no coaches. Other teams go over those every series that the D is on the field. When AR is on the sideline, Jim Bob should go over the previous series and what AR should be looking for. Flacco should be a part of that too, but I don't think he's interested in helping AR. He wants to start. He was totally out of the discussion when the AR was between series. It's funny that you say this, Dave, because I brought that same situation up when AR was benched. Not originally, but I want to say like the game after when AR went back and he ran first to go be the first guy in the tunnel and he was dapping everybody up. I thought it was kind of crazy that Flacco didn't walk right down the middle of the tunnel, to high five AR or whatever. He walked down the side, and I kind of made a joke out of it, but I just really thought it was kind of crazy because it's like if he's still showing that kind of maturity and love to his teammates, why wouldn't you, dap up your other quarterback who's your backup at that time? So I just thought that was kind of crazy too. I also think that Flacco was looking to start. That was the whole reason he was there. Chad is saying here his accuracy, even deep right now, is horrible. More RPO play. I actually got to disagree with you on that one. He's the number one in big play percentage. It's tough to judge accuracy on the deep ball, but I do think he's one of the better guys on the deep passes. We just got to connect on him. I think it's a little different to judge those, but the short stuff, absolutely. Tracy Royalty is saying, welcome to our group, gentlemen. Not too sure. Haven't seen that name before, but thank you. Appreciate you. And then shout out to those guys at ZTV. Appreciate all y'all. Appreciate you, Joey, for coming in earlier. Lost to the Buffalo Bills, man. First play of the game, Joe Flacco throws the pick six. And pretty much the rest of the way, we're pretty much shooting ourselves in the foot that whole game. But JT went for damn near a buck in the first half, and then we really didn't run the ball much after that. JT was on the field. I remember, Zach, I was having a conversation with you about that with JT. I don't think it's him anymore. I was pretty wrong once I was able to watch that back. We just completely go away from the running game. This is like it really has been Frank Wright over again with the play calling.
Yeah.
I do think that Shane has been a little bit overwhelmed with the rest of the coaching stuff. I think he might need to take a little bit of step back as far as just being on the offensive side and kind of more of an overseer of the team. If he still wants to call plays, that's totally fine. It's his playbook. It's his whole coaching scheme and everything like that. But I do think that he needs to take a step back and kind of see what he's looking at more and really get back to realizing this team's identity, because I felt like that was the thing we struggled with Frank Reich the most, is like everybody comes in here and it's like nobody thinks that we're a running team. Everybody wants to still act like we still got Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck playing quarterback for us, and I just don't get it with the offensive line and the running back that we have.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like Steichen, come the fourth quarter, dude just wants to, to throw the ball, especially when we're down. And, that's not how the Colts get down no more. Like them days of Manning, you got to have a legit dude to do that. Like you got to have a dog to do that. Luck and Manning were dogs.
Appreciate you, Tracy.
Basically from year one to day one, like you knew. This is not, no offense, AR. I do believe you can get there eventually. But so far, that's not what AR does. You've got to run the ball. You've got to help them out. And we're built that way. Like, look at the offensive line. It's physical. It's big. It's athletic. To me, this team is literally built like how the Titans were built a couple of years ago. A physical run game. And if they actually fix the defense and invested in the defense instead of we like the guys we have, Ballard, I really think like defensively, the Colts are built very similar to the Titans. Physical, punch you in the mouth, run game, play action pass off of it. You move AR around because he's mobile. He can do the cool stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you just let your defense get after it. You play good zone defense in the back end and you let your guys up front pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. That's it. That's the winning combination for Indianapolis. And coaches don't do it.
Yeah, but I saw this last year a lot too. And I know y'all remember me kind of almost being annoyingly mad about it week over week, run the ball. But the underutilization of Jonathan Taylor is very odd to me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, Damon, you feel any different about it being the fact that it's not Gardner Minshew and Zach Moss this time around, though, versus last year? Because, we didn't have JT last year, didn't have AR last year. Do you feel like any difference there?
Yeah, but go back to that Houston game. The winner get in game, right?
18.
Yeah. We completely abandoned the run game the first quarter.
Yeah.
We handed the ball off 9 times in a row in the second quarter, and Jonathan Taylor went for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in that quarter. We abandoned the run game again, and we abandoned the run game again. So it's like he doesn't get bonused. He acts like he almost has a bonus right on the line for passing yards or passing touchdowns. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But like high level overview, we're consistently playing behind the chains because we do not run the ball. It's 3rd and 11. It's 2nd and 9.
That shit pisses me off
3rd
more
and
than
15,
anything.
3rd and 8. Your play call selection pretty much goes from this to this when you're playing behind the chains, right?
Yep.
You're having to be strategic. And then in plus territory, where we look absolutely horrible, by the way, we're not able to score. So it's been a very weird thing, I guess you could say, to see. But like Zach said, you kind of lean on the run game a little bit here, especially with AR coming back now.
Not a little bit, a lot of it. You got
a lot of it, bro. It should be like 70-30 run the ball.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not saying JT needs to touch the ball 32 times a game. We have other running backs that can touch the ball 6 times a game, 5 times a game, 7 times a game. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because only a fool would want that, right? Now, if he's hot, he's hot. Let him Derrick Henry the thing. But at the same time, it's what more can you expect? The Houston game 3 weeks ago, right? When AR comes out and is 2 for 13 and a half, and JT had like 6 carries. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
Not staying on the field because we completed 2 passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, Damon. And I'm going to tell you, it frustrates me the most, especially because like in that game, I remember me and Trev talking about it. The night before the game, we were on the show, and Trev was like, "I want to see JT get 20 carries," and I said, "No, I want to see him get 26." don't see him give him the load. And look what he did in the first half. And then you mean to tell me we can only find 6 carries in the second half? He's killing them. He's killing them. And I don't care, like, when somebody says, oh, they're stopping the run. No. Keep running the ball.
Yeah.
It's going to be there's going to break eventually. And then even if it doesn't break, because of the fact they're going to keep coming up for the box, you're going to get some of those passes over the middle, some of those shot plays that you want to call. Like, you gotta run the ball, dude. That is our identity. We gotta, especially tomorrow. Now the fact that we might be starting 3 rookies, not just 2, like we gotta figure it out, dude. Like, it's not that complicated to come into this Colts team and see what our identity is.
Chad just chimed in here too about Goncalves, which I thought he looked very good. I've been actually impressed with him and Bortolini.
They actually both were graded. I want to say top 8 in rookie offensive lineman.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Which, by the way, is going to save us a lot of money.
You're welcome.
Which is going to save us a lot of money. You know what I mean? So. That's good to see. Still want Ballard gone.
I mean, yeah, you've got a great offensive line. We should use it. You know, we should run the ball like, I don't know, old school 1980s, 1990s. Hey, running backs are getting 40 touches a game. Everyone else get open. Like
Wisconsin offense,
bro. Hell yeah,
Art Briles.
Absolutely. I mean. That's just one of them things. Like, I was talking earlier about a scheme that I thought, could work. It's a run-based scheme. But, I mean, it's just one of those things, like, the Colts don't run the ball enough.
I was just about to say, I don't even think it needs to be run-based scheme. Just run the ball. Just call runs. I mean, even if you think about some of the usage that we do with AR, we don't call any of the straight QB dives, the QB reads, the off tackle, some of the off tackle stuff, any of that stuff. The stuff that the Bills were running with Josh Allen, the stuff that the Washington Commanders been doing with Jaden Daniels. Like, why do we not use AR that way? And it's like, at a certain point, we got to stop sitting here thinking that we got to babysit him because of health reasons and whatnot. Like, you drafted this guy. You got to use every ability to touch every piece of grade of glass that you can out there. Like, I just don't understand. Like, it to me, it's really not about changing the scheme. It's just call the goddamn runs. And for Jesus Christ's sakes, for Jonathan Taylor's sake, stop doing so many dives or stop so many runs out of the shotgun.
Dude,
like, why is every run got to be out of shotgun? That's why his ankles always getting fucking hurt because he's running right into a pile, getting stood up every time. Like, geez, man. Like, it's like sometimes it's like somebody said it the other day. I want to say it was before the Bills game. Somebody said if you can give Shane Steichen some advice. My advice was stop overthinking the game. Like, stop thinking that you always have to outsmart somebody.
On this topic, did you hear Shane, it was 2 weeks ago in his press conference, because I've been watching all of them consistently, say that Joe Flacco, he thought, was more comfortable running the single back set under center, and that's why he started to do it versus AR. I forgot who asked him the question. I think it may have been Doyle.
Well, but that makes sense, though.
They asked about this. They asked about why everything's out of the gun, and he said for comfortability reasons for AR, but that he thought Joe Flacco, due to the veteran aspect of it, is more comfortable at a single back. But I'm like, dude, when it comes to getting the run game going, I don't know how comfortable you got to be as a quarterback to turn around and hand the ball off. We're not asking you to take 6 steps back and drop and pass out a single back.
The Colts don't even got to get under center. Bro, what happened to that pistol? What happened to that veer motion, that single back motion that we had last year? We're out here running the triple option with Downs and JT.
You're talking about the orbit, the orbit behind the backfield,
where's that
all that
orbit motion? Where's all those freaky formations that you see?
I told you, dude, it's gone.
Where's that heavy goal line set? I don't care if it's at the 50. Run that heavy goal line set and let AR just blast right up the – like, where's that at? Where'd that go?
Like, I want to stand corrected about something because I know me and you had talked about it, not on the show but off air, but we were talking about how I thought AR had regressed, right, from what I saw last season. I think what I'm leaning on is what Zach is talking about now. What I meant by that is, do you remember a Tennessee game when he got hurt, how it felt like every time we stepped on the field, we were going to score? Our run
Yeah.
game was unstoppable. We were
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
I feel like we're walking on
So-
eggshells on offense.
No, I think it kind of goes with a little bit with his accuracy issues. I think it also goes into a lot of the creativity things and some of the things that you just said. I actually did miss that question about the play calling and why we're doing certain things, and I understand why Steichen would do what he's trying to do, because a lot of times we see those guys who will draft quarterbacks or offenses do, and they say, hey, this guy needs to do what our offense calls for him to do, or we'll find a guy who can run our offense. You know, some
but that's
people kind of
shitty.
say that, but I'm saying like the fact that he's trying to get to build things around what fits AR. But I just feel like there's certain things that we got to learn about the NFL. Like if you look at Kansas City right now, they have not been the same Kansas City that we're used to. They're not trying to bludgeon
run the
people on
ball.
offense. They're not trying to throw it 50 times. Yeah, Andy Reid wants to run the ball. There's certain things in staple offenses that you should have. You should have a fucking power run game. You should have the updated stuff like that we're doing today with motions and jets and pistol and different formations. You should have creative ways to get a defense off your ass. The same way we would sit there and talk about Gus needs to sometimes have game specifics for different type of quarterbacks that you're going to see, or different offenses that you're going to see with different people. So
Which we have seen from him, by the way. Which we have
yeah,
started to see from him, by the way.
I wanted to
Mid-blitz,
get into him a
exotic
little
blitz
bit too.
packages.
So it's just one of those things where I just feel like too many times that like people like we seen it last year when we had Minshew versus AR, that the offense looked completely different. I just think you get to a certain point where it's like you got to say, hey, AR, we need you to be able to do these things, and we have seen AR get under center. So to me, that's kind of bullshit. I just felt like he was kind of being played a little bit because of the fact that he didn't want to run certain things that he would run for Joe Flacco. Just like I told everybody here on the show last week, go check it back. I said, look, if we come out and throw the ball a shit ton of times with Flacco, then you know we're screwed. And if we come out and we run the ball, you know AR got screwed. And what did we do? We came out and we ran the ball. Like it just made no sense to me on what we're doing there. So, Damon, to answer your question, I really think it's just a combination of he got injured. So his off season was just basically him rehabbing his shoulder, getting the motion back and everything. I think that's why we're seeing a little bit of this regression. But it also comes back to what we're seeing out of the play calling. It just has not been rhythmic at all. It's just been off a little bit. It just hasn't been painting a picture. It's just looking smooth. It's been very rough. And you see why we get some of the explosives or we get duds. That's what I see.
That's facts. There's no continuity.
Dave Stewart saying he's going back a little bit here to the Bills game. He's saying goddamn it, he hates the Bills. Living up here is a chore.
Sorry, man.
Sean is saying here we need to run the ball. Absolutely. Joey's agreeing with you, Zach. I forgot what that was about, but he was agreeing with you.
Saying we're built like the Titans.
Yeah. Chad is saying here, you think AR looks like a stud when practicing, but gets shook when he actually steps on the field?
No, I don't know if that's it. I don't know if that's it because he hasn't looked the greatest in practice either.
They don't show the practices. They don't let media to the practice. So he probably looks the same. But again,
I think he may be talking about from the summer to like getting into the season.
Yeah.
I mean, but it even goes back to like you go back to the joint practice that we had with the Cincinnati Bengals, and the guys kept yelling at AR to throw the ball. So I just really it just really goes back to me is like the fact that like
he can only run.
Like we got to be able to do things to develop him, and that's part of making the game simple for your quarterback. I think that's sometimes where I'd be like, well, why are we not just get on the boot, get on the edge, give him an easy completion.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a 3-point shooter. When they're not seeing the ball go in, give them a wide open three. They just need it to go in one time, and then you can see it start to flow in and get some rhythm. So I think that also goes back to what we were talking about with what we're seeing on offense.
I want to, if we can get into a new topic, I don't know if where you're heading with this, DeMarco, but I really want to touch on this because we start talking about practice, but just the team meetings or the player individual meetings this week, saying that they saw the team efforts there, but not maybe individual effort, and that we see these things in practice, What things are they talking about in practice? What are they
Ah,
seeing in practice? I
man,
want to know what it is. I want to
I'm
know what they're
telling you right
talking
now,
about.
Damon, every time somebody comes out with something, I wanted to try and have a theory for it, but I really don't know because
I
even
want to
like
know what they're
like I was
talking about.
telling Zach, I thought it was JT at one point. It ended up not being him. But I don't know. I don't know who they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. I really wish they
You thought it
would.
was JT.
You
I
think
thought
they're
it was
talking?
JT.
I think they're talking about AR.
But see, I didn't think they were talking about AR because he
Why
came
wouldn't you?
back and like when they named him the starter on Instagram, Kenny Moore liked the post.
Sure, you're going to. Again, you're going to keep everything in house, right? So that's an out of house thing. So I'm going to like it. But if I got beef with you, bro, I'm gonna
Okay,
approach it 100%. Like
so
we
Zach, I hear you, but like the difference for me is like so he said it after AR was already benched though.
sure,
So
dude,
it's
but
like why not say it before, right? You
well,
wouldn't think
you
you
would, but at the same time, like if you're a quality leader, you're gonna say it at any and at all times. I might say it to you when you first get benched privately, and then after we play bad, I might say it in general overall.
oh
But
basically
but
saying like, hey, it's your fault we look this
but
way.
yeah, I'm gonna reiterate it, but I'm not gonna throw you under the bus. Like that's
I
part of
got you.
quality leadership. If I got a problem with someone, I'm gonna say something to you privately one on one. And then, when they say, hey, what's the problem? Yo, we got a leadership problem. And that goes for everybody.
Why would it
But
be Jonathan Taylor though? That's
he
my
wasn't
question.
he
So
wasn't playing in the fourth
What?
so
quarter.
What?
yeah, so that was my theory, Damon, because me and Zach were talking about it, and we just kind of thought it was crazy that they were pointing out the offense. And so I had started just doing the math because Kenny Moore said it after a game where Michael Pittman Jr. didn't play. Um, Ryan Kelly was out.
Hurt.
Um, and
AR got benched.
Braden
JT did.
Smith.
Yeah.
Braden Smith didn't play, or no, he did play, but he played pretty good. And so I was just thinking of who could he be talking about? Who was Julian Blackman talking about? Who was Zaire Franklin talking about? And the only people that have been around in that same span that they were there was Q, Big Q, and JT. And Q's been playing his ass off. So I was like, they had to be talking about JT because if you go back and look at the games, Jonathan Taylor would be the guy who wouldn't be touching the ball in the fourth quarter. And we had to throw the ball there, so JT was out. And so I just came up with my own theory, thinking like, well, why the hell is your best player on the bench? I don't care what the score is. I don't care what you thought the theory was. So I just figured I just
Yeah.
was guessing that, maybe it had to be JT just because of, whatever the case may be, because people said he had blocking issues or he had drops or whatever. So
He don't get
but
paid for
after I watched it back, we played him in the Bills fourth quarter game. We were throwing him the ball. We just didn't run it. But so I was
It
trying to
has.
figure out why.
Yeah, I think the individual preparation piece that Q said had to be directed at AR. That's the only because if you think about like individual preparation, quarterbacks have the most thorough week over week.
No, they
So
have to have.
yeah, well that's key in, right? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the only thing I could think. But I mean, that was talked about by several. I mean, every captain this week had a statement about it. What's going
Mm-hmm.
on? I mean, it's a dumpster fire. You know what I mean? And then luckily they renamed AR the starter, and some of that stuff kind of got pushed under the
Washed
rug.
out.
But
Yeah.
let's just talk about the beginning of the week when we had 6 different players come out and say, "Oh, there's a dumpster fire going on in the locker room practically at this moment," and that's why I leaned in and said, "What's going on with the coaching?
Yep.
What's going on in the locker room?" And dude, if you watch the Bills game, you even heard I think it may have been Spiro who called the game say, the Colts always do things their way. They don't spend a lot of money in free agency. They're homegrown. They do things from their roots. They're a roots-built
Ballard.
team. But they
Ballard.
said, but is that working for them right now? I don't
Ballard.
think it is. They literally
It's
said
not.
that.
It's not.
They
Right.
literally said that.
It
So
hurts when they spit facts, man. It hurts when
I laughed. I
when-
laughed.
I mean, I don't know. I stopped listening to those guys because those guys are haters. But I mean,
they
it's
have
just
every right
things.
to
I
be.
mean, we can point out things that Ballard doesn't do. I mean, there's times where we call shit in games where we're like, why would you do this? And then it happens the opposite way. So I don't know. I don't really like listening to those guys because even if we were good, they still crap on us.
Dave
So
makes a
it's
good point
just
here.
like, real quick before I get to that, just want to get into these because we got quite a few comments here. Tracy Royalty is saying here, Kelly back, no reason JT can't get 200 yards from the Jets. I do believe Kelly is on IR for at least 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
So he should not be back. But either way, I still think he should be able to go crazy. Sean Conwright says 30 touches for JT. Anything less is unacceptable. Absolutely. Joey says that part. Not exactly sure which part he was talking about, but appreciate you agreeing with us. Chad is saying here, I like to see more flea flickers. I would love to if our offense can get into some rhythm where we can actually, get some people off their game. But knowing our luck, we know the running back would probably get sacked on doing the toss. So Trey's saying here with AR and JT, switch up those plays and get it done. Chad is saying here, really open up the run game. Joey says true. Sean Conrad is saying here, it's obvious passing way too much and way too many deep passes. That too as well. Mark Lane is saying here they should have JT and Tyler Goodson both in the backfield at the same time. Both of them can make the field open up. Absolutely. Chad is saying here, but that goes back to them not running the ball, especially in the second half.
Why JT wasn't in the field?
Yeah, he did play in the second half, but we just every time we get down, it's always we had to throw the ball there, which I personally think is stupid because sometimes you could run your way out of a mess. Just run the fucking ball, dude. Dave is saying here, could they have been talking Flacco since I think he's closer to a cancer? And I believe that's what you wanted to get to, Damon. Sean is also saying here, Flacco didn't even look like he wanted to be in the games.
That's a good point.
And I also,
makes. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point because, like I said, I've thought that some of his energy has been off as well, and it's like, do you also just want to be the guy just to say you're still the guy, and are you actually doing those things? But it's tough to know who they're exactly talking about. I don't know if we're ever really going to know who they were talking about. But again, like Zach and these guys said here, I just think sometimes maybe Flacco's preparation wasn't where it was supposed to be because of the fact that AR was supposed to sit down and see what he could do better. And I don't know how much he really learned from that.
Can I be completely honest? I don't think AR learned a thing from this benching. I think he did. I think it humbled him some. I think he learned that, it's not guaranteed. And if that's all that man needed was to get his ego in check, to get relocked back in, then, that's awesome. Shame we had to do it. But, that's awesome. But to sit here and say you actually made leaps and bounds in 2
weeks.
That's just nonsense. No one's believing that.
That's it's like the girl who gets cheated on and say, he's changed. He's been an honest man over the last 2 weeks.
No. No. I ain't buying that, bro.
Exactly.
I'm just not. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid.
No.
I do think it was good for AR. It humbled him. It probably refocused him. It probably put a burn back in his tummy from, hey, I want this. So going forward, hopefully he keeps that. He doesn't lose that. But I don't buy the crap where AR learned anything. When it comes to Flacco being a cancer, I kind of get the vibe he's more like a Jay Cutler than he is anything else. And
just kind of just chilling over there. Just don't really care about too much.
Yeah, Jay Cutler. He's just here. He was here for himself, and hey, he played quarterback. That's kind of the vibe that I got from Flacco with him being older. He doesn't really mind mentoring a young guy. Clearly, I don't think he clearly wants to start. He clearly has those that I want to start. I need to start vibe.
That hunger.
Kind of like Brett Favre did, where I'm not here to
mentor anybody. I'm ready. I'm here to play.
Right. So I get that. So to sit here and say AR is going to learn, I think he could do that better with a guy like Sam Ehlinger or a guy who has been around but can't play no more. If that makes sense, compared to a Flacco. But at the same time, I have no problem with just letting AR just play. Hey, bro, he made a mistake, All right.
I mean, as long as he doesn't have any more of these lapses where we got to sit here and talk about things like he doesn't know he has to be the first one in the building, the last one out the building. No more tapping out. As long as it ain't things like that, that just makes us have to question
how much of that was legit. He wasn't the first one in the building and the last one there.
He wasn't.
What, was Defoe there all the time? Is that been confirmed?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I mean, like he said it was about sacrifice, and that's something that he had to learn because it's like maybe he wasn't the first one in, but maybe he was the first few. Maybe he was like one of the last 5 to leave or something like that. But it wasn't necessarily where you want to see from your quarterback because, like Damien was talking about, like you want that guy should be the guy that's literally down to the P's and Q's of the goddamn long snapper on your team and everything. You really want that guy to know every in and out. And it's like I don't mean to keep wanting to take shots at Flacco here because I don't have the biggest problem with him. But my thing was I feel like in the role that he was supposed to be, he never really felt like he was the backup quarterback meant to be the best guy here for Anthony Richardson. He felt like he was a guy that should have been signed as a starter somewhere. And like I feel like we would have got a better backup mentor role if Gardner Minshew chose to stay because he would have known like, hey, this is Anthony's team. I'm here to give the best I can to Anthony Richardson, like he said
Right.
in his rookie season. So I mean, I think all of it goes hand in hand. And like I said, like I think there's a ton of blame to go around to everybody. I do think that we've handled it like complete clowns once again. But I also think that Anthony Richardson kind of put this on himself by, not necessarily knowing the things. It's like guys that we've had in this building. He can go call a Peyton Manning. He can go call a Andrew Luck or try and get their numbers, to try and see from them what he can do to be the best because we have that lineage here. So don't mean to put it all on him as far as like things is like that because you don't really know what you don't know. And that's what most people said. It was more naive rather than it was neglect has been what a lot of the report was. And so it's just one of those things you want them to kind of, figure it out. And so hopefully this was a huge lesson for him to get it taken away. Got a couple more comments in here real quick. Got Sean saying here, Flacco eating cookies and Kool-Aid on the sideline. I'm telling you, man, but dude, he be looking like he ready to take naps all day. Like, it's crazy.
I want cookies and Kool-Aid. Man.
The Indianapolis Colts where QBs come to retire.
Yep.
David saying here, does anyone else think that think it's gotten in AR's head? Going back to the Houston game, lots of drops would have looked like he was trying to put too much touch on some throws. So it was in his head, putting too much over compensating for the touch. I think this is absolutely a great point, Dave. I think that was some of it as well because I think he missed a touchdown. I don't know if it was in the Houston game. I think it might have been in the Dolphins game. But he was just trying to put some touch on it, and he just lobbed it a little bit too much air, and it allowed the defender to catch up and get a deflection on that one. So I think it absolutely has as far as that did go, but he just got to play loose and free. As far as the whole benching and everything, I don't think that's gotten into his head. I think that's more so you learned a lesson as like far as like what I was talking about over the summer where they did the whole receiver A, receiver B type thing with AD and Alec Pierce. And it's like sometimes when you get stuff handed to you, you kind of just take it for granted. And when you get it taken away, it kind of makes you realize like, hey, look, I got to earn this here. And Anthony Richardson even said that himself, like, hey, I got to make sure they know I'm the guy and that, they don't need to be thinking about somebody else. So he just got to make sure he keeps building on it. So I definitely thought some of that play did get in his head a little bit, but I guess we'll find out if it truly did tomorrow.
I just worry that the Colts, what I hope the Colts don't do is pull him again and kill his confidence.
You can't pull him again.
I hope they don't. But when have the Colts handled anything the right way?
I'm not. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say because they said he's the starter for the rest of the year. I'm not.
Right.
I call BS. So
right, like they've got to let this kid play. I mean, because I truly feel like he's already probably got a case of I'm looking over the shoulders. I mean, AR's already been booed once. Like if I'd be worried.
AR got booed?
Yeah, bro. The fans booed AR when the offense was playing terrible. When they were at home. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
What game was that?
I think week 4, week 3 or week 4.
Oh, you know what? I think I might have.
He got booed. Like they booed the offense off.
It was
the
after a
field.
pick. I thought it was after a pick.
Yeah, he threw a pick, like an egregious pick.
I think
Cam
I
Newton,
remember that.
Cam Newton called it egregious. But yeah, he got booed off the field. And so like he's already been booed. I just worry that like mentally, like that's gonna mess with him. That's all. Also, speaking of Cam Newton was 100% right on the entire AR situation. Like I don't think people understand like on his podcast, Cam Newton 4th and 1, he literally predicted this. And like bro was 100% right. Called it what it is, you know, said, yo, hey, this is how you fix it. If you get the opportunity, you got to come out and ball, man. This is a privilege. This isn't all right. So,
I think he also feels like it really hits close to home because him being so similar to Cam Newton,
Right.
he looked at Cam
100
Newton, stuff like
100%.
that. And then if you guys remember, Cam Newton actually had to humble himself and chose to go to a community college over going to play for another school because of what went on with his family and everything like that before he actually got his shot. So everybody has a little bit of difference when it comes to their adversity. So I think it really did just hit home for Cam, and that's why he felt so passionate about the situation.
Yeah.
Davis saying here, agree, let him play every down. Chad is saying here, week 13, Sam starting.
Gosh, I hope not.
I hope not.
You know, he's
Hey, where's the
joking.
guy always says Bean? Where's he at?
I ran him off 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Sam Ellinger is just laughing
he
at
did.
everything, collecting checks. I did want to get into some good stuff here, man, because I know the way this season started, man, we were really, really, really trashing Gus Bradley. And I just want to give dude some flowers, man, because over the last couple weeks, I'm telling you, man, the way things have went in this coach
We're still
organization,
not.
he's went from top on the totem pole of being get the hell out of Indianapolis and go to China to like being the least of our problems. Now, I'm not going to say he's been perfect, but I got to tell you, man, it's been a night and day difference from what we were doing those first few weeks versus what we've been doing the last couple, man. I thought Gus really been calling much better games. Run defenses looked much better. We're still calling those stupid like when we're back off 13 yards on like 3rd and 4s and shit like that. But I don't know what to say about that. But defense hasn't been our problem. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. The players actually decided to play. Zaire got off his podcast and actually started to lock in during the season.
Well, he actually been on the podcast. Him and EJ, and they still making plays.
I don't even watch that trash because after all that trash talk, versus Houston, I was all like, "No, dog, you can't have a mic and play like trash. Like I can't. No."
I was pretty disappointed myself, but I definitely forgave them. They have turned it around.
I mean, it's good.
They're actually we have Zaire Franklin number 1. I want to say Nick Cross is number 4, and I want to say EJ Speed is number 6 in tackles in the league. So
it's bad. That's terrible.
These guys have been turning it around, especially with how much we keep our defense on the field.
That's unfortunate. That's on Shane.
David saying here, having an off season to help AR or having an off season will help AR. They should send him to Tom House camp to help him fix his mechanics. Believe half of the issue are his mechanics, much like Josh Allen.
Time out. AR's mechanics are solid. It's his footwork. It's getting his base consistently. Like how he throws. He throws a beautiful ball. It's just
his feet work.
Dude's footwork is bizarre. He's either too wide or too shallow. I've not seen anything like it. Like
if you see some of his plays, he throws the darts when he gets his feet work right. It's a thing of beauty. He actually he went to the people I forgot what the hell the name for it was, but the people that helped Josh Allen fixed his arm throwing mechanics. AR already went. He went to see them before his rookie season, and he got his worked on. I want to say it was his junior season.
But I mean base work, Florida, not arm throwing.
At Florida, he went to go work with those people, so he had already got that work, but he still needs the footwork to be smoothed out so he can get rid of some of those issues. And it's really one of those things that really happens with all the guys that have big time arm talent. The only person that really doesn't do it too much is Matthew Stafford that has that kind of arm, but you see it all the time from guys like Josh Allen. Still, you see it. Jordan Love, you still see it. Patrick Mahomes, you still see it. Those guys who just have that kind of crazy arm talent, you see them a lot of time. They just kind of let their feet do whatever, and that's where you see their bad throws, air passes, and stuff.
I got a question for the
Oh,
comment
okay.
section.
Oh wait, I did click on it.
Yes.
Go ahead, Zach.
So I was talking about this with you guys earlier in the podcast about an offense in college that I think that the Colts are perfectly built for, and they should run. Now, granted, I don't know how many of our viewers are big college football fanatics or how deep they go into schemes. But I do believe that the Tennessee offense, whatever offense that is, the veer and shoot, I think that could work in the NFL. And I use the Colts as an example because I truly feel like they're built basically like Tennessee. Really good running back, some fast, speedy receivers, a couple possession receivers who can get open underneath the defense. And then a physical, strong quarterback, big arm quarterback. I just think that veer and shoot offense is the future of the NFL because so much of the college game is coming to the pros because the quarterback play is so inferior. I feel like a lot of teams are either going back to, hey, we got to run with a simplified scheme, a college type scheme. So I'm curious if you think that a scheme like that could work in the NFL, a very college minded offensive scheme. Just a simple yes or no. And if it's a scheme that you think could work in the league, I'd like to hear it just in the comments. I mean, I'll see them.
I personally just don't like the pace because it's kind of like our offense already is like if you don't have really good drives a lot of the times and you have some 3 and outs and quick
You're
ones,
playing behind the chains.
you're gonna start shooting yourself in the foot real fast in the NFL, especially if you're playing against some teams that start running the ball and keeping you off the field. So Tennessee offense look really good at sometimes, but then sometimes when they don't look super efficient, it can get ugly for you.
Yeah, you're splitting the receivers out wide. Wide.
Well, that's what I love about it. Like how wide, because like the wide splits on the offensive line, how it opens up run lanes, man. Like that's what I really like because I'm like, yo, you can stretch a defense out so horizontally that you hand it off to JT. That's at least 6 yards. At least 6 yards.
Yeah, I do hate how
forced-
condensed we are.
You're forcing teams to open the box. So I mean, I look at our offensive line and I'm like, bro, we could run this scheme because there ain't but 3 backers who are probably going to be able to really handle a center one-on-one because you're forcing teams to go five in the box. I mean, if you give them 6, you can bring in a tight end and match. I just look at it and say, yo, this scheme is built for what we have, 110%.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's bad. I just think that like if you get into some rough patches, because you're not always going to be the most efficient, your offense is always moving at high tempo. It's just when you get into some ugly spots, what do you go within? You know, it's just like then you're kind of just at the mercy. Like I feel like that'd be something if you had it as a concept. You bring it around towards week 16, 17, and run that into the playoffs because then you should have enough to be able to get you through a 4-game slate to get you a Super Bowl.
I mean, you wonder, they already run like choice routes essentially in the league. You know, like you hear Shane talk about it. Hey, we had a choice route set up. Dude was playing match zone or man. So that's literally
position and certain people.
That's literally all that passing game is. It's the choice routes, and then it's like stick, 6s, verticals, and then it's everything like slants. Super easy stuff, you know, basic, but you're essentially a bulk of it is deep choice routes. So I'm like, why not? Like, it's
do you think AR could run? Could you think AR can engineer an offense? Because a lot of that,
hell yeah,
shoot is you got to be extremely accurate. You know what I mean? Because you're not necessarily throwing people open, but you are throwing into zone.
I completely.
Yeah, so the basically perfect example of what Damon just talked about is the Eagles last year down the stretch, where they started running their own plays and calling their own plays, and Jalen Hurts started throwing hella interceptions, and their offense just completely turned to crap because they were running their own thing. So it's like I said, I think it can be a good thing, but you got to have some like our choice routes are pretty much with Josh Downs only.
Downs,
Or
Mitchell,
slot.
and Pierce are the only ones that really get them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it could work. Like I said, I think you can get a good stretch out of it. I just don't know on the NFL level consistently, like the way Tennessee does it every game. Just
See, I
and,
just
and,
look at
and
that.
and the great thing about Tennessee though is they can also run the ball though. It's
Right.
not just passing for them.
True.
So to your point, I think it could fit a little bit better for us, but I don't know if that's something that I would put AR in at this point.
I mean, at this point, what I'm saying is like I like AR so much, I refuse to let him fail. I'm willing to go to a straight college offense. Like I truly believe like dude could do it. I believe there's enough. The only issue that I truly believe that you would have with that offense is building a sufficient and deep enough and diverse enough run game to complement the simplicity of the pass game, because it's basically all wide traps, counter G's, blasts and dives, and most of it is from the shotgun. So
I totally get your point. Like I said, I would take it as a concept. I wouldn't want it to be my whole offense and scheme.
That's fair. Fair.
I think for a good stretch, like a Super Bowl stretch, for sure. We got Brian C. Price here saying that Houston game had a lot of drops. Are people not seeing that? We definitely are. And I know some people out there are counting it and stuff like that. A lot of the guys had drops from AR. So that's definitely something that's been a big part of it. The people who, had issue with AR, whether it be his inaccuracy or people say he sucks or people say he's not good or whatever, those people don't care about the drops. They're just going to say, well, out of his 2 for 13 in the first half, they're not going to count. What was it? What was it? 3 drops, 5 deflected passes that could have been caught that were literally in receivers' hands, stuff like that. They're not really going to count. So, kind of just depends on who you are and how you really feel about it on what you're counting and what you're seeing as the asterisk.
Hey, Dave, I have brought up Tom Moore a million times to the guys. Believe me.
Believe me. Running, I call this the Manning offense because we saw it for so many years. Running Manning's offense, it's going to translate. It's basically the perfect pro style offense, but like running that ace formation, hell yeah. Doing that with JT, the Colts need to do more of that. You'll not hear me complain.
Yeah, Dave Stewart is basically saying here, I'm not a huge college watcher. I'm more of an old school Tom Moore / Marching Broda stretch philosophy, especially with the mobile ability of AR. That would make Granson and Woods of healthy players. We have the wideouts and slot receiver and Josh, kind of like a Stokely player. Edge was great with that, and JT would be perfect in it too. And that's another one of the things that we've said plenty of times here, that we need to, run some of that stretch, run some play action, run some boots off of that to get some things going for AR, to give them a lot more simpler passes and stuff like that. So hopefully, I don't know. I know Shane kind of does his own offense. We're huge on the RPO and stuff like that, and sometimes we do get way too pass heavy. So would be nice to see some simpler philosophy and easier things for AR. Joey and Liz, you guys are sending some comments in here, but they are just blank. So if you guys can see that,
we're not getting anything, unfortunately.
Not getting anything there. And Brian Price, I definitely am seeing you here with the 7 drops. I only counted the ones in the first half just because we were 2 for 13 and everybody was calling that out and whatnot. The 3 TDs, yes, absolutely hit.
Thanks, Liz.
Hit Goodson right on the hands. Dropped another touchdown. Oh, they sent some stars. Okay. I didn't know. It doesn't say what those are on there. I thought they said stars when somebody sent those. And then 4 open drops. So yeah, definitely was seeing those. And then again, like even with as bad as people would sit there and complain about Anthony Richardson's accuracy issues when he had the 44%, we're losing by like 2 points. So to me, I could really care less. I don't really see that as the overall arching theme of a problem. Um, so, like I said, it's kind of just people picking and choosing what they have a problem with. Um, and kind of just seeing how they are, because like we can only imagine tomorrow that say Anthony Richardson goes out and have a bad day. How many Colts fans are going to be the ones that say, "Oh, he sucks. We should have stuck with Flacco," or "Oh, we're dead from here." This is still the same thing that we're going back to, and that's exactly why I had a problem with the benching of Anthony Richardson in the first place, because we already missed this whole rookie season, and so this is basically his rookie year. But we cannot be going into year 3 saying, "Hey, he's only had 10 starts." That we can't do that. That gives no plan, that gives no structure, that gives no path, that gives nothing for anybody in the building, us as Colts fans, Anthony Richardson himself, to see what the future is going to be. So I've always thought that we have to see it through, regardless, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Got to see it through. Brian saying here that would have put him at least at 60%. Absolutely. Like I said, people pick and choose. David saying here, so I don't forget, hats off to the way Grover has been playing. He's been absolutely a madman, man. Grover Stewart, the way he beat that center to sleep in the Vikings game. That was crazy. Love the way that D tackle's been playing. Sean Conrad is saying here, people always complaining no matter what. Yeah, exactly. And me personally, look, man, the way I see it is I'd much rather suck with a 22-year-old and just be like, hey, yeah, my quarterback, he either had it this game or he didn't have it or he wasn't good, rather than with a 39-year-old who I've already seen enough of. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of being on the quarterback carousel, at least with our guy that we chose to draft. Even if some think he was the right guy or not, you got to go with your guy. You chose to pick him. You figure it out. So, yeah, we got the Jets coming up, man. What you guys seeing for the Jets?
Offense looks lethargic. I think they're only really a threat running the ball. I don't think we can doubt Aaron Rodgers to a point, but he isn't a great.
All Tyson fight.
Oh,
Max.
That's what he said. Is like Flacco and AR. My bad,
Sorry,
David. Go ahead, bro.
No, that's all I had to say.
What about you, Zach? How you feeling and what you seeing from the Jets?
Dysfunction. Sauce Gardner getting mad about tackling. Contract holdouts. And Devontae Adams. That's the Jets. I don't know, man. Tomorrow's a toss-up. The Colts could win if they handle it in the run game. But it really depends. It depends on if the Colts are motivated or not. Like, if the Colts come out flat, then it's going to be a long day. But this game is theirs for the taking. They should win this game. It just depends on if they take care of business early.
Yeah, I think this game is going to come down to defensively. Can we make that offense look like the way that they've been looking for the past few weeks versus better defenses? Can we get Aaron Rodgers off a spot? Can we keep making him miss throws and stuff like that? They got a lot of weapons and stuff like that. But I think if our defense can come out and play, because if we sit back in that little, like I said, when it's 3rd and 4 and we give them 10-yard cushion, I mean, they're clearly going to eat our defensive line. So we need Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner to stay in Aaron Rodgers' face all game. We need to come off the edges and really, come after those guys. So I personally think it'll come.
Come on, man, show us something.
Man, I need him to start turning up. We get into the second half of the season. I need him to start getting home. He's been getting good pressure, but need him to start getting home. I definitely think that the defense has to be our anchor here. And then Anthony Richardson in the offense, we kind of know what we're going to get there. but just don't have the turnovers. We can't have the turnovers. We don't want those to bite us. But that's what I feel like we gotta make sure we do there. Marcus saying here, when teams have time to game plan for Flacco, he does not give us the best chance to win. When AR is in, you have more options at your disposal. Absolutely. And was it Sean is saying here, Jets got a good pass, but a horrible run defense. Steichen better have a run-heavy offense. Exactly. Run the damn ball. Simple as that. So in the beginning of the season, we had made our picks. Damon, I don't know if you have been aware, but I've been definitely still been reading off a lot of these picks still that we all selected. Don't know how many of them you still held to for each week, but we got you here tonight so we can see where we were at. I had picked us to win originally, and you guys both picked us to lose to the Jets this week. So where are you guys at? How you guys feeling?
What did Matt say?
Matt was not on that show, so I didn't get his either. So I only got our threes that I still got up here. So where you guys at? How you feeling? Did you change? What's your pick? And do you have a score?
I have us losing this game 31-17.
Where you at, Zach? Up. I think he might have froze there on us. Yeah, so I'm still gonna keep it a win. I think I'm going to go 24-13 Colts. That's going to be my pick. I'm going to go 24-13 Colts. I think we should be able to get that win. Zach said he's going to try and hop back here in a second. I just think that if we can continue to hold that defense, the way we've been playing defense the last couple of weeks, and then we don't turn the ball over, run the ball, I think right now we're a better team. Like, I think they do have more talent, but it hasn't come together. And their offensive line stinks. It stinks. So I want us to take advantage of it. Like, I think we got the better offensive line, the better defensive line right now. I think we need to take advantage here. Sean is saying here that he has it 27-17 Colts. Brian Price here has it 23-20 Colts. Yeah, so we're all riding with the Colts there. Damon did pick the Jets though. Can't be mad at them, man. We gotta show we can be better here. Chad is saying here he got the Colts losing 17-13. Can't be mad at no predictions, man. The Colts haven't really gave us the look for what we all thought, because all of us have predicted to open the season that we all had us as a 10-win team.
I just don't have it on our end. You know what I mean? As a dub here.
No, I just meant to start the season.
Yeah,
but the Colts
definitely.
clearly have not shown what our expectation was for what we thought.
Certainly. And dude, like I completely expect AR to come out and throw 2 egregious picks. I'm not completely expecting him to come out and be, a world beater at the starter quarterback position. So we'll see.
What you need an explanation for, Brian? Go ahead, Zach. What did you have as your score and prediction?
I got 24-17 Indianapolis.
Oh, we're picking us to win, changing it, huh? All right, I like it.
Just because I think the Jets are god awful. They might be the only situation worse than Indianapolis, in my opinion, right now. Like, with having all those expectations, all that preseason hype. Like, AR had a ton, we had a ton, and New York had a ton. And both franchises have kind of, pooped the bed. And I just look at it like, we're salvageable. And I just think that the Jets are too far in it. Like, the Colts can put the Jets to bed. They can put the Aaron Rodgers experience to bed if they just come out and physically dominate from start to finish. Run the ball, play solid defense, and, and just own time of possession. Force Rodgers into, seeing ghost turnovers. Do I think it's doable? Sure, absolutely. Am I probably too high on the score? 24 points. That's a lot for Indianapolis right now.
I mean, I said the same thing. I said 24-13.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have 24-17 because I just think Indianapolis games are always, for whatever reason, so close.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll, for no reason, it'll be closer than what it needs to be. But, yeah, 24-17, Indianapolis running the ball, getting it done.
Absolutely. Sean is saying here, this team hasn't given me any confidence. I think that's also the part there too here for Brian here. Just defense is trash. That's going to open up the deep ball, which will work in the second half. They will run the ball first half guaranteed. Yeah, no, so I agree with you, Brian. But I think it's also fair that plenty of people, if anybody picks us to lose, you can understand why. Just like Sean said, that this team hasn't given us any confidence. Like us three on this screen that you see right here, we all gave our predictions for what we thought this season would be. And as I'm looking at it right here, Damon had the Colts only losing 4 games. Zach only had the Colts losing
5 games.
Four games. You have 4 games as well. And I also had the Colts losing I had the Colts losing 5 games. So we all expected this team to be much better than what we've seen, and all they did was give us the clown show that has been going on for years. So that's kind of why people are where we are. It's kind of just coming back to just saying, hey, we got to look at reality here. We are not world beaters. Every game that we've had is pretty much winnable, but the Colts just have continued to show us that they will put us on a roller coaster for absolutely no reason.
Sick.
I
Sorry.
like that. No, you're good. I like that. So yeah, but like I said, I expect the Colts to be able to take care of business. But like I did say a few weeks ago, I believe it was against Houston. It's just, man, they just take care of business. Like I think you should be able to beat the teams that you should beat. We got one more tough game on this schedule, and I think we could easily win out. So, I would hope that we can win this game. I did not mean we could beat Detroit when I said win out. I meant after Detroit. So, New England, Denver, Tennessee, New York Giants,
Chad,
and Jacksonville.
Don't be this dude. Don't wish that evil on us, Ricky Bobby.
No, it's absolutely true. It is true.
Bro,
It is true.
100 years luck cursed us
Yes,
for 100 years.
No, yes,
No.
and it wasn't the luck curse. It was the fact
It's the
that Jim
Manning
Irsay,
curse.
it's the Manning curse. Jim Irsay truly
cut Manning.
believed that Colts fans would boo Peyton Manning to put Andrew Luck in, and if we would have did that as fans, you can see where that's the curse. So that is the curse, fellas. I truly believe in it, man. So, yeah, man. I mean, until we get rid of Ballard, we're probably going to be a 500 team.
Yeah, but you don't believe in the Jacksonville curse?
I do.
Oh, see,
I don't know where that curse comes from, though.
Frank Reich. He started it.
Yeah, but we ain't won down there since 2014, so it could have been him or 2015.
Who was the coach before Frankie? Pagano?
Pagano, his last one there, last 2. So
Is that game we lost 6-0 or whatever the hell it was?
no, that was different. That was 2018. That was Frank's second year.
Yeah, you can call that the curse of the finalist banner. Facts. There it is.
Hey, yeah,
Facts.
you can call it that. I still think it's the Peyton banner, but or the Peyton curse, because I just think it's crazy that anybody would have booed Peyton Manning. Like he said, he would have been Andrew Luck's backup. Like that's insane to me.
That's why Manning is the way he is with the Broncos.
Yep,
We kind of earned it.
sure did. Anything else, fellas?
No boss.
How you feeling, Damon? You hyped for tomorrow?
I'm excited for AR to be back on the field.
Yeah, I am too, but I ain't gonna lie. if he starts the
prepared.
game like if he
Just be
starts the
prepared,
game for
bro.
like 1 for 9, I'm gonna be cussing on my TV. Like, bro, I need you to
I'm
give me a guy. AR, I need you to.
I'm gonna need you
Man.
like this in perfect timing.
Man, I'm gonna need you to give me a game where I ain't gotta go defend you to everybody on the goddamn internet. I just need one AR.
Bust out my AP, perfect timing.
We already missed out on that.
Bro, we're not getting Shedeur Sanders. Like,
Yeah,
we're too good for that. He's gonna end up in Tennessee.
no, I don't even think Tennessee. I think he's going to New York.
No, he's gonna be a Jaguar.
I mean, his daddy is okay with that one, so he could end up there.
He's gonna take T-Law's job.
How? He's got the biggest contract extension.
Hey, we just hope Jacksonville does some dumb shit. That would be some dumb shit. Okay?
I keep telling
Like
I keep telling they fans that they gonna win over Detroit 23-17. They gonna keep everybody. They ready for everybody to be fired too. I keep saying y'all gonna win and everybody staying home.
No, we
They're
need
gonna
Peterson to
trade
stay
him to
there
San
as head
Francisco.
coach.
Hilarious.
Bro,
But how
that'd
you
be
feeling,
neat.
Zach? How you feeling about tomorrow, Zach?
Oh, I'm a nervous wreck. Because
Nervous
AR
wreck?
comes out sucking, I'm gonna be pissed.
Hey, there he is.
Right.
Nathan came in there late. Russian TD.
Like if AR comes out sucking and shows like his booty cheeks, I'm gonna be real mad. Real mad. Overall, I mean, at this point in the season, the only reason why I watch these games is for AR. Like I didn't watch for Flacco. So like, we threw 2 games because Flacco was in there and we probably shouldn't have. But
For sure.
I'm in it for AR, and I hope AR comes and balls out.
For sure. Well, that'll do it for us, folks. Hope everybody can and have some stuff to cheer about. Hope AR,
Whoa. What point do you lose faith in AR? Great question, Chad.
You know
next
what?
year.
That's a good question for next year. Yep.
Yeah. I'm about to say next year. It's like this last 7 is just gonna show can we see that he's still gonna keep building up or something. Because to me, like it's like if we keep playing right, we either lose and get a top pick, or he kind of shows us that he can climb the ladder a little bit, and then next year it's like either we do or we don't. I think that's where we find out, because that'll be his second full season.
Let's draft another defensive end in the first round.
No, I mean, I don't want that. Like, see, you gonna make me start up a whole nother conversation. Man. I just don't like. I just don't think after 8 years, I don't see what much more Ballard is going to do to do anything. Like, it just like I don't see the point. What's the point? Why give him more draft picks? What difference is he gonna do? Oh, I got another high character guy. We didn't want to go get no free agents. We can do it right here. We got all the characters in this locker room.
DeMarco.
I'm done, bro. He don't need no more.
Your Texas accent is flawless, dog.
I didn't even know if that was Texas. I think he just made up that goddamn accent.
Your Ballard impersonation might be the best I've heard. Like,
I'm just saying, man. I just don't think. I think Colts fans have had enough. I think we. Like I said, I like some of the stuff Ballard has done in the trenches, but how many picks do we have to sit here and get and be like, oh yeah, he's good now in year 4 after being 8-8 for the last 5 years? Like I don't see it.
It only took Nick Cross 4 years.
And like I said, we're probably going to have to deal with it again. So I'm sorry for everybody that I just made it seem like Ballard needs to go right now. But I just think we've seen enough, dude.
I agree. All right.
But yeah, let's go, everybody. Let's beat the Jets, because we're all going to feel much better if the Colts get a win. Appreciate my guys, Damon and Zach, for coming out here on the show with me tonight. Hopefully we can get everybody start getting back in here. But let's go, Colts.
Second down, he fakes the Taylor, fires over the middle, completes.